Hello, time for another Man in Gray book review. Today's book is Wolf Children, Ame and Yuki, written by Mamoru Hosoda and illustrated by Yu, with character designs by Yoshiki Sadamoto and translated from Japanese by Joycelyn Allen. This book was published by Yen Press in 2014. It's 550 pages. A lot of times, when you have a successful Japanese comic book series, mangas, if they're very popular, they are turned into a television series, anime. So, anime, the TV series, and mangas, the comic book series. For example, One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, and Detective Conan were all very popular and are very popular manga series that were turned into television series. But sometimes the opposite happens. Wolf Children started out as a film written and directed by Hosoda in 2012. It was an animated film in 2012, and it was very popular and critically regarded. And then the studio decided to turn the movie into a manga series, a 3-volume manga series. This American version has all 3 volumes in one book. So it's an example of a film that was turned into a manga series rather than the opposite, which is what usually happens. The plot is pretty straightforward. There's a young college student named Hana who notices one day in one of her class this very handsome young man shows up, and he sits there and is intently watching the lecture, but he's not really taking any notes. And she kind of is intrigued by this guy. And as she follows after him and talks to him a little bit, and it turns out he's not a student. He just shows up every once in a while and attends classes kind of as auditing. And as they continue talking, and she meets him several other times, he finally reveals his secret, which is that he's a half wolf, half human. He can switch back and forth from a wolf state to a human state, much like werewolves in Western culture. And eventually they fall in love with each other, despite his wolf nature. And they have 2 children together, a boy named Ame and a girl named Yuki. And everything's fine for a little while, but then one day tragedy strikes when the kids are still quite little. The husband, the father, in his wolf state, is out hunting when he gets run over and killed by a car. And so now Hana has to raise her children alone, and she wants to protect them because being little kids, they spontaneously erupt into wolf form and human form, as you see on the back illustration here. They've got human faces, but wolf bodies and ears. And so she wants to protect them and keep them secret. So she moves the family off into the country, into an isolated area, moves into a rundown house, fixes it up, starts a garden, tries to become as self-sufficient as possible. She starts making friends with some of the distant neighbors who help her with her gardening projects. And the kids gradually grow up. And she teaches them a spell to keep them from erupting into their wolf state so that they can stay in the human form. But as time goes on, the boy, Ame, becomes more and more interested in his wolf side. He stops going to school, wanders off into the countryside for hours at a time, and starts studying nature and communicating with other animals and picking up on natural rules of, the natural world. Whereas the girl, Yuki, loves school and becomes less and less interested in being a wolf, and she really wants to join the human world. And so the mother is kind of torn because her 2 kids are going in 2 opposite directions, one into the wolf side and the other into the human side. And she's trying to do the best she can to raise her children and keep them safe from keeping their secret and humans finding out their secret. As far as the book itself is concerned, this was the first manga series illustrated by Yu, and the opening volume is rather simply drawn. There's not a lot. It's all the manga series is in black and white with a few colored plates in front of each of the 3 volumes. So it's mostly in black and white. And you can see here it's pretty basic. Not a whole lot of complex action or anything. But as the time went on, she got to the 3rd volume. It became much more sophisticated. Her drawing and talents got better. There's more shading. There's more subtlety. It's a nice picture of the boy turned into a wolf. So the drawings improve in quality as you get toward the end of the book. Um, as far as the book itself, it's pretty good. I wish they'd spent more time. Of course, the book is based on the film, so they're kind of locked into the plot of the film. But I wish they'd spent more time developing the relationship between Hana and her husband. He's barely in the book at all before he's killed, so we don't really see why they got together and how she was able to overcome her fear of wolves and so forth. That would have been better. And the ending of the story is rather abrupt. I think they had a set number of pages they had to do, and when they got close to the end, they just kind of tacked on the ending real quickly. So it ends rather abruptly, but it's a good book. And as far as the physical qualities of the book, this is a hardbound book with sewn bindings, and the pages are quite thick. So this book will stand multiple rereadings. So if your kids love this story, or you do, and you want to read it over and over again, it'll hold up over time. So it's a well done story. It's kind of cliched in some places, but it's a well done manga book, and it's 3 volumes, so it's not one of these huge long series with 40 or 50 volumes. It's only 3 volumes in one, so even though this is a rather long volume, you can read it pretty quickly. So if you saw the movie Wolf Children and enjoyed it, you'll certainly enjoy reading the manga version of the film. But you don't have to have seen the film to appreciate the book. I mean, it can stand on its own as a standalone book. The book is Wolf Children, Ame, and Yuki. The author is Mamoru Hosoda. This has been another Man in Gray book review. Thanks for watching.